So those are pretty new poems. This is an older piece from Poetic Justice. This cover was done by my wife Joanne, who's reading next. Great painter. This is called The Woman with the Video Camera. She videotaped the way rain fell in hard diagonals, the white noise emanating from the grayness of the TV screen, how the atmosphere affected personality disorders, how the weather shaped the destinies of Muslims, the bouncing of children on beds while the babysitter was sleeping, the arrangement of mirrors, of tables, of lamps, of pictures on walls, how light coated every face, how hair grows on a head. She videotaped the textures of surrender, the cool breath of a stranger on a neck, the hand passage of a thigh, the soft pressing of fingers on a groin. She aimed her camera at the runners jogging, the dinner parties foiled by a burnt chicken, the drunken antics of an uncle puffing cigar smoke, the geometry of windows maintaining their rigid attitude against the dirt. She turned the camera on the reunion of mothers and daughters, the warm, creasing embrace, the kisses upon cheekbones, the visitations of grandchildren on Christmas, the streamers extending out of mouths on New Year, the traffic inside hooer houses, the movement of men entering rooms, removing hats, removing gloves, removing scarves, removing top coats, removing pants, removing undergarments. She videotaped every nuance of color, every pore marking survival, every grip on the banister, every foot rising up, every shoe being tied, her eyes absorbing the protocol of nightlight, saying, "Come undress me with your camera," penetrate every dominion. This is how to stay in love with your girlfriend who has cats when you're allergic. 1. Never fail to remember where you rate in the feline equation. 2. Never question the difference between human and animal love. 3. Never admit you're wheezing when one of the cats just happens to be sitting on your head. 5. Humor her when she asks you to hold each cat for as long as it takes for them to stop hissing. 5. Pretend she's referring to orphans in the wilds of Siberia. 6. Smile when she announces the cats will be joining the two of you for a candlelight supper. 7. Never threaten her with a them or a me proposal. A strong wind. A strong wind is blowing through this town, pulling laundry off the lines, upturning garbage cans, lifting lawn furniture across the yard. The wind swirls the leaves of trees, pushing them around like naughty children, tears off limbs and rocks the hammock back and forth like a ghost having a hearty laugh on its account. This wind lifts the skirts of women walking along the road. It tempts the habits of the nuns praying for the poor at the soup kitchen on Main Street. It sizzles through the air like a guided missile taking off for parts unknown. I wish the wind would admit its nervous discontent, struggle with the grip of its problems, and count to 10 without ever blowing its top, confide its symbolism, the weight of its meaning on a silver platter, dressed up with a sprig of parsley and laboratory tested. Sit down with the wind, dry its head off. Wipe the sweat from its forehead. Listen to the wind. Learn from the wind. Become the wind's deepest ally, the wind's most intimate friend. And then the wind will call it a day. The wind will give up its wars. The wind will sleep quietly in our arms. What's going on in the mind of Bob Hart?
We don't like that.
Bob's been acting most peculiar. He's been even more Bob than usual. Maybe he's been sipping too often from the fruit of the vine in the Etruscan rooms of the Metropolitan Museum, or maybe he's been crawling through the tangled vines of the Botanical Garden every morning in successful search for the herb that fills him endlessly with joy. If we all had what Bob has, we'd climb the Himalayas in a flash, ensure the safety of our city for another millennium, sleep soundlessly in our beds without ever a hint of snoring. Bob's mind can circumvent the thinnest of needles or penetrate the most tinsel of tunnels. Bob's mind is a seeing eye dog in the dark, a javelin-like leap at the aquarium among the seals, a gallivant among the Swiss Alps by a goat herder high on an extra-rich cup of Ovaltine. If we can borrow just a hint of Bob's mind, we'll be hovering like a flying saucer over the city with a jump in our step and an old Broadway melody on our lips and a sparkle in the fertile crescent of the mind. Bob Hart's mind, that is, with its bridges and highways and Ferris wheels and Greek choruses and infinite trail of strange, mischievous delights. If you don't know Bob, that's Bob Hart, right there, and you'll hear him later.